Hey everybody, it's Charles from HumbleMechanic.com and it's time for another GTI update with a test drive. So this is really one of the very first times you guys have joined me in the GTI period in the 2 years that I've owned it. Well, a little over 2 years that I've owned it. And I'm on my way from picking it up. As you can see, it's a gloomy, gloomy day. I just picked it up from my paint dude to fix the roof. Unfortunately, some things went pretty sideways at the place he's at, so it's not finished, but it's in progress. He works at an acquaintance's facility, and some things went down. The parts manager of said facility did some things that were probably against company policy. That triggered an audit. A bunch of people got fired, and now he's also under the gun too. So for those of you that think you're super secure in your job and that it's never going anywhere, think again, my friends. It can be gone like that. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the GTI and where we're at and what's going on and what's next. I'm driving it home because I'm going to be doing a parking brake cable video because, well, truth be told, the parking brake is completely shot. So I'm going to go get that video done. I'm going to show you how to replace them, which is super easy. The magic comes in the adjustment of the parking brake cable, so you don't have to rip it 30 clicks up, or it doesn't lock the wheels up on first click. All very important things. In addition to that, the coilovers are on. They ride so good. Mad shout out to NGP Racing, or New German Performance. NGPRacing.com is their website, for working with me on the coilovers. I'm working on that video as well. I have an appointment to get the car aligned and corner balanced. I don't know how much actual corner balancing we're going to be able to do because of the limited adjustability of this setup, but I still want to take it to the professionals. There's a local shop that does suspension setups for track cars. A lot of guys take their stuff to VIR, and they do a lot of that kind of setup there. So I'm going to work with them and show you guys exactly what it takes to properly align a car. We're going to go through the corner balancing anyway. Again, I don't know quite how much this car is going to have as far as balancing goes, but I want to walk through what it takes to corner balance a car and really why it's so important to get a proper alignment done. It's one of those aspects that so many people overlook. You know, they just want to slam their car on the ground. It looks cool, but their car drives like crap, or handles terribly, or does not perform the way that it really should, even with the suspension setup that I bought. As I'm driving now, my steering wheel is probably 10 degrees canted to the right, and it's super annoying, and it pulls a little bit to the left, all because we changed the suspension geometry. Significantly impacted camber, and well, that camber of course affects toe, so the toe's off, camber's off, all that stuff needs to be fixed. So we're almost halfway there to complete engine braking. The clutch break-in period is about 1,000 miles, so we may be nice to it a little longer than that. After that, it's going to be straight to the dyno because I want to know how much horsepower this old girl puts down. There's also a handful of loose ends that still need to be tied up. Looking at the gauges here, I have my boost gauge working, so I can monitor boost. I have my wideband O2 air fuel gauge. It is fully functioning. The middle gauge, the boost gauge, is partly functioning. That gauge also has a boost controller in it. It's a really cool looking AEM gauge, but it has a controller with it that I need to plumb in. Very simple procedure. It's seriously like mounting 3 or routing 3 vacuum lines, and it's done. I have all the components, I just haven't had time to do it yet. Also, with the gauge, I need to install an oil pressure switch so that I can monitor oil pressure. We're going to sort of step back and do some basic things. Brake upgrade. It's probably not going to be the monster crazy brake upgrade that I had helped Saab Kyle with on his 240. I think I'm going to take a lot more mellow approach with the brakes for a couple of reasons. One, big upgrades like that are super expensive, like 4 times more than I spent in the car expensive. So it's not a road I want to punch right to. In addition to that, factory brakes, especially on this car, are really good. They're really good. And I want to see what the difference is between the way the brakes perform now as they sit, a 20-year-old car, but a refresh in rotors, new calipers, or at least rehab calipers, and of course pads, the pad compound being probably the thing that's going to make the biggest impact on the way the brakes perform. I'll probably also install new lines. I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not I want to do steel braided. Understand that swapping these components in and out is pretty easy. Yes, it does require a brake bleed procedure, but that's not really that hard of a job to do. I have a little vacuum pump, hand pump that works really, really well. We can do it the gravity way, we can do it the two-person way, you can make your own. So it may be worth the effort in testing purposes to see, do you really need to spend $140 on a set of brake lines, or is simply a new set of brake lines gonna get it done for you? Of course, if you were to buy said brake lines at the dealership, it'd probably cost you 4 times that anyway. So in that respect, the steel braided are probably cheaper. But I do want to put some effort into getting the brakes refreshed and then see if we really do need the big brake upgrade, or if the factory brakes, or a lot of people do Audi TT brakes, some other way rather than just writing a $4,000+ check to get Willwoods all the way around, which if budget wasn't an issue, I would absolutely 100% be completely happy to do. Hint, hint, Willwood and Brembo. That would be really fun. So while the brake process is happening, and I'm still in the research phase of exactly what I want to do, I'm going to be sourcing a new transmission. And the reason I'm going to be sourcing a new transmission, mostly for the box, is because I have a limited slip differential and a TDI 5th gear. Traction is a struggle in this car. Yes, new tires will help improve traction, but there is just too much going to that left front wheel under boost to really keep the car planted. A proper suspension geometry will also help, but I don't want to down the car for like a month and a half while I rebuild the transmission. I want to be able to rebuild the box while creating content and videos for you guys around that and what that looks like and what it takes, but I don't want to sacrifice driving the car in the meantime. So I'm going to be sourcing a new 5-speed gearbox, and that'll be a perfect opportunity to get one, either the O2J box or get an O2J shifter tower, which is a little bit different shifter tower, so we can upgrade the in-the-car shifting assembly as well. There's a whole mess of other things I really want to do. I had a great conversation with Recaro at the SEMA show about possibly doing some interior work. As you guys know, Recaro and Volkswagen and Audi have had a great partnership over the years. Some of the older cars, Mark IIs I think, had it. Obviously Mark IV, R32, and the 20ths and the GLIs all had Recaro seats. So I think that would be a cool homage to the partnership to use Recaro seats. And let's face it, Recaro seats are beautiful. They focus on safety and comfort, which I'm going to adjust where I'm sitting as I say that. They focus on safety and comfort. So I really liked what they were about, and of course if I could get a set of Recaro seats to build the rest of the interior around it, that would be ultra awesome. Of course we still got to get the roof finished, the complete repair done after I get back from my trip this weekend, which you'll find more out about a different time. I will talk to you guys a little bit about that and what Scott's doing for me to get the roof fixed. I have the Jetta front end to put on if I decide to go that route. That's a pretty easy swap. Finally, one of the other things that's going to happen as we get through this process is finishing with the charge cooler or intercooler piping. Right now it's on, it's secure, but I really do have some fine-tuning to do with the piping, and I got a lady that's going to do that for me, which is cool. We're going to get the pipes all cut and bent and welded together. We can weld them together, bead rolled so that the silicone couplers don't come flying off under boost. So she's going to help me with that. That should be a really fun time to learn that skill set. Guys, one of the things I want to make sure you understand is that I don't have all the answers. I am not an expert in a lot of the things that we've done to this car. I am very much an expert in some of the things that we've done to this car, but there's a lot that we've done that's not outside of my ability or outside of my realm of understanding, but outside of where like my true skill set is. So I want to make sure that when there's something that we're doing that I can find a better resource for, I feel like I owe it to you guys to find that. Just like that's why I'm taking it to get corner bounds. There may also be some other surprises that come along throughout this process. I'm talking to a company about maybe or maybe not switching wheels out. I love the Fat Fives, but you know, a new set of wheels is a new set of wheels. So we may change up what what the plan was initially, and a handful of other things. All right, guys, so there she is, the GTI at large. What do you think of the project so far? I hope you've been enjoying this build. Thank you so much for following it. It's so awesome that it finally runs. All these little things that we're going to be doing going forward, I think are going to be ultra valuable for you guys and show you truly what it takes to build a car like this. And let's face it, I didn't build this car. I just bolted a bunch of crap on it and redid some stuff. But I really want to show what it takes to have a project like this. Some of the cool things about TV shows is you can watch a half-hour episode start to finish and it's done. I think it does a pretty big disservice because you lose a lot in what it truly does take to do this kind of thing. The time, the energy, the commitment, the money, the stress, the beer, all that stuff. It takes a lot more than I think TV gives it credit for. So guys, with that, I'm out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.